Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of
Unique Adventures.
In this episode, we're out here where?
We are at St. Maarten.
And we're we are in Phillipsburg, St. Maarten. This is one of our excursions on our Freedoms of the Seas cruise. We are out here. We are going to be experiencing St. Maarten, Phillipsburg today by trolley. We're going to be taking you around to a pirate museum, an interactive deal of that. We're also going to be going down into Phillipsburg and to go check out some of the shops and some of the areas down there, see what we can get into, and who knows what will happen after that. And then we're going to let you know, is this tour actually worth it, or are there some workarounds? So stay tuned. Alright, so we're walking away from the pier here. This excursion is supposed to be 2 hours long. This is going to put us right on the edge of sailaway time. But you can see the Freedom behind us here. We are walking through the initial part of the pier port here. Spoiler, we've already been through here already earlier today. And we've already been into town once already with our family. And we'll tell you about that towards the end. But we're walking through right now. We're about ready to get on this trolley bus thing. And we're going to be heading through to that pirate museum first and to go check that out. But gorgeous day out here in St. Maarten. The views out here alongside of the boats. I mean, get those pictures. But yeah, we're having a good day out here. And let's go ahead and head onto the trolley. We got on the trolley. We went just maybe about a quarter of a mile down the road, turned back into a parking lot. We are now at the Rusty Parrot Pirate Museum. We are at the Rusty Parrot Pirate Museum. So it's kind of a different experience here. I wasn't sure exactly what we were going to get. It was, you go through, they got a little gift shop in the front, and then they take you on an interactive pirate story. You go room to room and kind of experience the story. I think this would tailor more towards littles and you know kids, mid-sized kids, I would assume, 6, 7 to 10, 12-year-olds. They can kind of follow along with the story, get to see the different things in the different rooms.
They'll be expecting a fight, but we'll give them a big bang.
I'm not sure I would personally go back on this again. No, it was fun, but I'm not sure. But and then when you get to the top, you get this nice little rooftop bar here where you can get some good sights and some good views of St. Maarten and stuff. So that's not terrible. And then you can get some drinks and stuff up here as well. But
I think there's rum tasting.
Oh, and
rum tasting.
Gotta have.
You can purchase the rum too.
Gotta have rum on the pirate ship, So we're gonna keep exploring the little bits here of this ship, and then we're gonna continue on probably into Phillipsburg for the next part of the excursion. Definitely kid friendly on this one. Not sure if you are just adults or not a complete pirate, somebody who enthusiast. Yeah, that's probably the better term for it. But yeah, we're gonna keep enjoying it, and then we'll be off to Phillipsburg, St. Maarten here in just a little bit. All right, so we got out of the Rusty Parrot. We got back on the trolley. We were cruising through the backside of Phillipsburg, learning a little bit about some history about how everything came to be around here. And one of the big things that we took away, this island used to be very big on salt production back in the early settling times. So the island actually had the nickname the Island of Salt from all the salt pools and stuff here. And they used to mine all the salt up until the 1940s, where they finally just stopped doing that, and they had a monument to pay tribute to the salt pickers, which was actually cool to get to go by there. So we also now ended up at this Amsterdam cheese factory where you can get a bunch of cheese, some liquor, some snacks, stuff like that. It was actually a decent little stop, had a nice selection of things. We picked up a little tulip to take home to one of our friends, but we're going to continue on to the marketplace down here and see what that's all about. But the adventure continues. Still out at here at St. Maarten. All right, we're at our last stop here of the excursion at the Soliga Market, where you can get some last-minute souvenirs from St. Maarten and some other different things. We did not have a lot of time here. They're giving us 12 minutes. It's kind of like supermarket sweep in there. Everything's going 300 miles an hour. People are trying to sell you stuff, but you know, if you want to get those little trinket souvenirs and stuff, maybe a good spot to maybe get some decent deals. We didn't find anything we couldn't leave without, so
I would definitely say if you're doing a later excursion, make sure that you do go into town earlier so that you can look in town, because we haven't, on this excursion, we didn't have time to look in town, so I'm glad that we did it this morning with our family.
So we're going to talk about that here in a little bit once we get off, done with the excursion, and we'll wrap up the video back at the port. But we definitely have some tips and tricks and some things maybe to think about when you're trying to visit St. Maarten. Is this actually a good excursion, or is there some better options for you here in town to get around? But we're going to get back to the port and then we'll chat about it. Pet goat. So we have made it back to the ship finally. I really didn't want to talk much more about the excursion while we were on it. It seemed to just continue to go south, and I don't take this stuff lightly when I talk about, you know, the things that we're doing and stuff. I was trying to find positive in things, and there are little bits of that, but there are just better ways to go about doing some of this exploring in St. Maarten. So let's talk about just starting this tour. You know, you get on the trolley bus or the trolley train. You go to the Rusty Parrot, the Pirate Exhibit, which if you got little kids, that's a great excursion to go on. They probably are gonna dig it. Older crowd like myself and my wife, not so much. It was okay, it just wasn't great. Then we went down into town and kind of drove around there and stopped at another cheese store, the Amsterdam Cheese and Liquor store. Looked like they had some great array of cheeses in there, so if you're a cheese person, this is definitely for you. The liquor in there seemed a little bit higher priced than what we saw in town, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. And then we got back in the trolley again and then drove around and got a little bit of history background on the area as we were driving through some roundabouts. We really didn't get to see a lot of the history. They were just telling us things. And then we ended at the market down there. Now mind you, this excursion started 2 hours before sail away time. And in that, it didn't give us a lot of leeway of time. We just felt like we were being rushed all over the place, which I didn't really like. And it was just very different. And even in the last shop we went into, or the last little flea market, we had 12 minutes when we got off the trolley. We tried to go in there. They all knew that we were on a short schedule, so all the vendors seemed to really flock to us, and it was just really overwhelming, unfortunately. So we got back on the trolley, and I was looking at the watch, and we only had less than 10 minutes before before we were supposed to set sail, and they got us back to the port with like 4 or 5 minutes left, and by the time we got in line to get onto the boat, it was after sail away time. Luckily, we booked the excursion through Royal Caribbean. We knew we weren't going to get left, but it just was so fast paced that we didn't have a chance to actually enjoy much. I would have much rather done some market shopping, like down in the markets. So that really didn't appeal to us much. But I want to give you some information about St. Maarten. Some cool facts. They are definitely known for their Guavaberry Rum. So if you got a chance to hook into that and you like rum, that might be your jam. We did see that. Very culturally diverse here. They've got the 2 different sides of St. Maarten, the French side and the Dutch side, but then they also have over 100 different nationalities as well on the island, so very diverse. St. Maarten also has the most beaches per square mileage of any island in the world. It's a world record. So, you know, just a little bit on that. And some of the other history with the island, it was known for its salt production, definitely back, you know, in yesteryears, 200-300 years ago. They just stopped doing the salt mining back in the 1940s because it was just very hard, very laborious. So we did get to learn a little bit about that part of the history. The island actually has a nickname that is it. I forget what the translation is, but the English version is the Island of Salt. So just a couple little fun facts about St. Maarten. Now, how I would have done this a little bit different, and I'm gonna kind of go off on a tangent here. Confession, we actually went into St. Maarten before this excursion today. Which that means, like, our excursion was at the back half of the day and we got into port early. We had family members that wanted to go in and go check out the port. We didn't know what we were getting into. So we got, we paid a fee. You can get a little wristband and ride the water taxi all day long. It was $7. That's as of today in 2024. $7, you can go back and forth, and that would have taken us almost all the way around to any of the shopping areas that were around where we were at in St. Maarten. Or you could have just walked on outside of the port on the back side of the road here, and you could have casually just walked up to the Rusty Parrot and done that by itself. You could have found the cheese factory by yourself. I don't feel like the history that they gave provided a lot of value for the tour. The tour was like $50-$60 a person, and to get over and back on the water taxi was $7 a person. So depending on what you're wanting to do in St. Maarten, it might be better just to take the water taxi over, go do your shopping, go check out some of the different shops, because they've got a lot of different things there, and then get back on the water taxi and head back to the cruise port. So would I really recommend this excursion? Honestly, you know, it's hard to say, but I would say no, unless you really like those niche items of getting to see the cheese factory or the cheese shop and getting to do that Rusty Pirate, and you didn't want to walk around, you just wanted to be kind of, you know, carted around. That's pretty much the only place there was the value. It just was crammed too tight to really get any value out of anything. We were literally flying around all over the place. That's why I couldn't end the video there. So with that being said, I hope you got some value out of this. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Drop me a comment. Have you been to St. Maarten? Have you ran into any of these issues? Let me know if you got any questions. We were here today. I feel like I have a better knowledge base of the area now and what to look for if we are to come back here again. But yeah, it's a rough one today. I don't like making videos like this, so but I think St. Maarten is great. I just feel like this tour just fell flat. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you stay subscribed to the channel so that when we go on excursions that take us all over the place in a short amount of time and we almost miss getting back onto our cruise ship, you won't miss it. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next adventure.